let me come back.
Hey, Green Bay. It is there. Little 32 coming up in 98. Go Green Bay. Yeah. 98, 98. Here we go, Green Bay. Yeah. Green Bay. Hello, Packer fans. Welcome to Packer Talk with Green. And this, my special guest, Steve Wagner, my cousin Steve. We're cousins of Mike Wagner and John Wallace. You're running for
Judge.
Judge in the Winnebago area. Well, we're going to talk about Super Bowl bound Green Bay Packers. The players are out there. They got out there yesterday. Brett Favre, three-time MVP, Coach Mike, the whole gang. Reggie White. They're healthy, wealthy, and wise, so to speak, gentlemen. So what do you? Okay, you know, with a lot of hype with the Johnny Elway 4 times out there, and supposedly they have enough talent to change the NFCs because we won 13 times in a row in the Super Bowl the NFC has. So do you think do the Denver Broncos have a chance of beating the Packers in this game coming up Sunday, 5:15 Sunday afternoon?
Well, I think it's a.
What do they have to do, Steve?
Well, I think the Packers have to play good defense like they have been. You know, keep Elway down, get in there and control him from passing, and they got to control that running back that they got. And I think, yeah, they've won. They won the last time they played them, so I don't see there would be a problem. I think the Packers are the best that we've seen. I think they're.
You think they're better than last year?
I think they're strong. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You got Brooks back. He's very strong. You know. I like to see him pass the ball around a little bit more to Chimera. I like to see Beebe in there. I like Beebe.
Yeah, bring up a ball about passing the ball. Last year, 10 Packers caught 20 balls or more, John. This year, only 6 guys have caught 20 balls or more. So the spreading of the ball, because of the running game.
The running game.
The running game does deplete Brett Favre's passing the ball around a little bit more. The running game does help, you know, the wear and tear on Brett Favre's arm.
Compared to last year, the running game's night and day.
Right.
Even total yardage, it might be about the same, but the one back is playing substantially better than he did last year.
Yes, George Evans really came into his own. He was a late round pick, almost at the end, I think 5th round pick. He was a 5th round pick
Right.
a couple 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and he's really blossomed into one of the elite running backs of the National Football League because he's got pretty good hands. He's strong. He's break tackles, a lot of stuff on his own, and his speed. He can cut to the outside and go. He's shown that he is very capable running back in the National Football League.
Well, I think the big thing too is he doesn't turn the ball over. He hangs on to that ball. I can't remember. Maybe you might know the statistics of how often he's turned the ball over this year. I can't even think of any.
Oh, he just did it. He did it a couple weeks ago. Tampa Bay game he did.
Yeah, that's
Warren
right.
Sapp
Pulled it out, right.
Pulled it out, but I mean, yeah,
Right.
Mike Holmgren, gentlemen, does not like. Well, no head coach likes the ball to be turned over.
Fumbles.
Well, you see that with
stuff. But okay, how come the Green Bay Packers? I think we can all be in agreement that the Green Bay Packers are the best best bad weather team in the National Football League. But what makes that? How come we can hold on a ball when it's torrential downpour, it's mud, it's slop, it's cold, it's ice? What makes that?
Well, I think a lot it had to do is I think didn't Wisconsin create Velcro strip?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just that they practice in that all the time, and I don't know. That's a good question. I think a lot of it is the natural field that we're playing on, and the conditions that they play in all year round. I think the coaches drill that. You know, I mean, when I played football, that was one of the things you drill. Hang on to that ball. You hang on to that ball. Yeah, and
it's a mindset.
you go through a line where people are trying to pull that ball out. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to an AFC warm city stadium, natural grass and all that kind of stuff. So the Packers play on that stuff. Denver plays on that stuff. So
Correct.
as far as the field is concerned, it'll be pretty evenly matched. I mean, but talent-wise, we have the better of the two teams.
Well, you would think that you would hope that Denver would at least try to play a good game.
What do they have to do, John, to maybe to stay even or maybe stay close and at the end of the game maybe have a shot to win? What do they have to do to stay close?
Well, I
So
think
that's their key. The key for the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl, they have to stay close to Brett Favre.
well,
They cannot let the Green Bay go out 3 or 4 touchdowns and then Dorsey Levens will just run the ball and stuff.
they have to penetrate right up the center with the running game.
But how they can do that with Gilby in the middle?
If Gilbert would go down, that's the only hope they have.
Well, you know, Gilbert was gone for a couple days late in the season. Bob Grabowski
Bob Grabowski did an
did a pretty
excellent
adequate job
excellent job filling
and
in.
stuff like that. So, I mean, our depth and talent is pretty good on both sides of the ball, but they're not going to penetrate Gilby. And our linebackers are fast on the outside, you know, so they're going to have a tough time penetrating that defense. Well, we remember in the beginning of the year, we had trouble. We were like 28th or 27th overall defense. Then we climbed the ladder. Now we're 7th. And last week, we beat the 2 weeks ago, we beat the 49ers, the so-called #1 defense in the National Football League, and our defense was better that day.
Well, the only thing I can think of, Green, that Denver could do is, and from what I've seen on a lot of the receptions of the opposite teams against the Packers, is some of the longer balls, longer bombs. They've been able to successfully complete them. And I think if they took the balls down the field more and went for the longer ones, that might be a threat. But, you know, I'm concerned about this running back. I mean, this running back has speed. He's powerful. He's strong. And Gilbert Brown has still got that problem with his ankle.
But our linebacking core is strong. Our defensive ends are great. They're coming into their own, Steve. So the only prayer they may have is just prayer.
How many running backs have the great running backs have the Green Bay Packers face? They had the Dunn and the Allstott. They had Barry Sanders, and they had last week supposedly they had the Hurst and them and Kirby.
Emmitt Smith.
So, Emmitt Smith and all these guys. So Green Bay defense against the run is pretty good.
Correct.
John, they're not going to run against Gilby and Reggie and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but you would hope.
And they plug up the hole so well with
then they would have-
Leroy and these other
That means they'd have to take it to the left side of the opposite side of what Reggie.
Yeah, but you
And
know that's-
who
Nick
knows?
Wilkins is doing a pretty good job
Yeah,
over there.
he is. He's doing good.
So, I mean, that
So then there's no dispute that the Packers are going to win.
no dispute. We
No
got to
dispute.
play 60 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that we can null avoid turnovers, but I mean we are such a great team that we don't really want to, you know, what I'm saying, a couple of little dinky mistakes. Brett Favre, I think, is the only quarterback in the National Football League that can overcome mistakes a little bit.
Well, John Elway possibly can, depending on the types of mistakes. This is his 5th time to the Super Bowl.
His 4th.
His
Team's
4th.
5th, yeah.
You'd hope he would learn now for 4 times. This is his 4th trip. So hopefully, if he does make mistakes, he can at least correct those on both sides of the ball. So it's a halfway decent game. It's a halfway decent Super Bowl because for years it's been the NFC over the AFC. And last year, I don't really think that was much of a game for a Super Bowl game. This year, I hope it's a good game. And I hope for the Denver fans it's a good game. And, of course, for the Green Bay fans.
There's more pressure on John Elway than there's Brett Favre.
It's very...
Yeah, but I get tired
Very
of
high pressure.
I get tired of hearing too, Green, that everybody wants John Elway to win.
Sentimental thing, yeah.
There's more than just John Elway on that team. I mean,
yes.
there's a lot of people that are veterans that have played just as long, if not longer. So I don't think they can base that whole game just on John Elway. But I do think that what I respect out of it is he has a lot of talents. And he's been there, and he has the knowledge, and I think maybe that's the only thing that might be one step over the Packers. This is only their first, well, actually their second. So they got 2 years experience compared to Elway's 4 years going there and having that knowledge and experience.
But look at the total experience of the Packer team.
Oh, there's only 3 people on the
Only
Bronco
3.
team that have been in the Super
Right.
Bowl.
Exactly.
And
Well,
all
BB's
this
been
stuff.
on 6, right?
Yeah, so
But from a coaching standpoint, Holmgren's only been there, what, 5 years? 4
5 years. This is
5
6
years.
yeah, no,
And
anyway, yeah.
5 years, you know, his second Super Bowl in
Yeah.
5 years. That's an incredible
That's
record.
pretty good, yeah.
John,
He's done good.
and one chance Elway, if the Broncos have to win, they does not let John Elway carry that team. If Elway's going to be passing 50 times,
Yeah.
again, they're not going to go very far.
But do you think Elway, at his age, 37 years of age, banged up, because he has been banged up, do you think he can carry that team over this defense?
No, not over that defense, no. That's why they better use a total team concept offensively and defensively. The Broncos do to try to win this game. They're still going to come short up. They're going to come short up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's important. You know, him being his age, trying to carry this team is just
not gonna work.
No, not
Or,
gonna work.
on the same
no.
token, you don't want the team trying to carry him because they know this is his
Right.
4th time. And the team, you know, will do just about anything to try to win this game. I think not only
might
for the
overplay.
team- Exactly.
They could overplay.
Overcompensate.
Yeah, they could overcompensate, overplay.
You know, this game will be won by coaching staff
Yep.
on both sides of the ball. Fritz Shermer, Coach Mike, and Sherman Lewis. They will devise a scheme on both sides. Wasn't it a nice scheme against the 49ers Fritz put together?
Oh,
was
it was
an
good.
excellent game.
3-3-5s, and he mixed them up. it was different people blitzing too. It wasn't just Leroy. It wasn't him all the time. It was Seth Joyner and Bernardo Harris and Leroy, and so they mix. Sherman Lewis does. Fritz Sherman does mix the defensive scheme up quite well.
And you've seen San Francisco this season on several games go to the level of 10 in their play. And did you see their faces after that
Very
game?
sad,
They
wasn't it?
were disappointed. That team fought every single play to try to come back against the Packers. You've seen their faces.
Yeah, very sad.
They were a dominating team at one time, and I tell you, when they went into that game, I really thought for sure they were gonna kick butt. I was really fearful, but after I seen how they started off in the situation there, I was really impressed on how the Packers played. What's really hard is, when you looked at other teams, I don't know, you follow the Packers a lot, you're probably closer than I have. I mean, I like watching the Green Bay Packers, and I'm glad they're going there, and I watched them last year, I taped it. But, it's like when I watched them, I guess because it's our team, to me, when I watched them and watched other teams, it was like they never looked like they were that good. You know what I'm relating to?
Exactly.
It's like, boy, how come this team always looked better?
Exactly.
And now they're finally stepping up to that image of looking like a good team.
Exactly. I also, I've been doing this for 18 or 20 years
Yeah.
now. I always thought when I was doing this, I always thought the Packers could win, John. Every play they would get a first down, they would win every game. I always felt in my heart that the Green Bay Packers of the 70s and 80s and early 90s would win ball games. And you're right, Steve. But when you watch the other teams, they didn't make any mistakes. And they scored 45-3 games and stuff. They look good. And now the Packers are, they're the best in the National Football League.
Yeah,
They're up there now.
They are. It's just hard to accept it because they're right in their own backyard, I
They're in
guess.
their backyard.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah, but you know why they are the way they are today is because of the fan support. And it's neat to see people today. When we were 16, 18 years old, the Packers had come out of the 60 years. And now with my kids and everyone else that I know, they take time off to stop doing anything. And the families are all sitting around the TV for one thing, the Packers. And the reason they are the way they are today is like you, gang. I mean, you supported them for years. And the community, Green Bay, Fox Valley, we have supported them religiously.
Milwaukee, when we were done in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee has done a fabulous job of supporting them.
And there's a I think 80%, close to 80% of the Wisconsin people that live in Wisconsin are going to be watching that game. They had something with a poll. I don't know, they really can't poll everybody, but they had a poll of a few thousand people, and 80% of the people will be watching that Super
Well,
Bowl
it's just
game.
amazing, Green, how many people are going to the game at, what, $2,000 a ticket? That's a lot of money, plus your hotel, plus, your food, and
But you know what?
some got to stay an extra 2 nights. That's $3,000 bucks.
What's beautiful is you don't have one sole owner of the team. Glamorizing, competing with the team.
Exactly.
You have a community-owned team, a community-backed team, and look where they are today. Support.
And of course, Ron Wolf, he was a first step in this.
Excellent
Right.
selection.
Then Ron Wolf, then Reggie White, and Brett Favre, and now we are the Garden State, somewhat, if you want to look at it like that, for professional football. Players are going to want to come to Green Bay. They're going to stay and have fun and play and win up here, John.
I think you're going to have one more year next year where some of the top players in the league are going to think about coming to Green Bay, even if it takes a cut to come to Green Bay,
Right.
because they want
They want the
to
ring.
be there. They want the ring. They want to reach the pinnacle of their careers, and I think you will see more people, a lot of talent.
Plus the
still-
salary cap went up, so that's a little bit more money for
Well,
us.
I just think it's a
But
shame.
anyway.
I think it's a shame too that you are going to have some players that are going to be free agents that are going to leave. I like one thing I admire so far about Brett Favre is he's dedicated to the team and the people that have made him. And I think it's just too bad a lot of players weren't that way.
Well, Gilby's got a big heart. He came back, and
Have they signed Dorsey yet or not?
no.
Dorsey
He
can't-
has the Packers had the last dibs on him. They have to match it or let him go, which I can't really see the Green Bay Packers letting Dorsey Levens go. We don't know what the Edgar Bennett's going to do, John. We don't know what he's going to do, what kind of money he's going to take, or what the trade. I don't know if you can trade much for him. What are you going to get for him? What he's going to settle for a contract. We have 12 players. We got the Brooks and the Freeman and Seth Joyner and Aaron Taylor and Dorsey Levens and Evans, and so we got about a dozen sole players that have to be taken care of one way or the other. And I believe Ron Wolf and Coach Mike and who's ever in charge of this, they will do what's right for the Green Bay Packer franchise for years to come.
Let me ask you, Green, what do you think of that Schrader guy? Guy from
What is Schrader?
Sheboygan.
Shouldn't he?
What do you think about
shouldn't
that?
He have
I mean,
a couple plays in the Super Bowl.
I was
just
really-
to give him the last. Give him a chance.
I was really surprised the coach grabbed him like that.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was really not
Yeah,
Coach
but-
Mike Holmgren thing.
But,
No.
but that was a very critical play.
Yeah, it was very. I mean,
Well, I understand
Billy
that.
Schrader has had his share of
Moments.
troubles on special teams, whether it's fumbling the ball or doing the holding thing or pushing behind the back thing. So yeah,
But he's a young player.
He's a young
and-
player. Plus he only had 1 year of college football.
Well, the people forget that Brett Favre wasn't any different
No, he was terrible,
than Schrader. And the thing that's sad is they let him go. If the Packers let him go, he could turn out to be a good player somewhere
Yeah.
else.
So we'll-
what do you think? You think they'll keep him? Think they'll let him?
Probably not.
Will they let him play in the Super Bowl game?
I don't know.
I don't
think
doubt
so.
it.
Maybe the native,
One run?
Wisconsin native, maybe they should have something to do with it.
Is BB going to be in this week?
I think they want him to play at least one. I mean, he's hurt a little bit,
Yeah.
But do you think?
but I don't know. I don't know.
You think he'll be back there?
Next year, you mean?
No, back there running the
I
ball,
don't know.
receiving.
I don't know. Well, when they put Brooks and Freeman back there for the special teams returns and stuff, that sort of put my heart to a stop. You don't want nobody to get hurt,
No,
let alone
Especially
frontline
Brooks.
players.
Right.
But apparently, Robert Brooks and Antonio Freeman know that 55 yards wide, they know better than anybody else on that team.
But Billy Schrader, do you think he'd fumble in the Super Bowl at his age?
I'll tell you what, the Denver Broncos will put a lick on him. They want that football too, John.
Yeah.
And if they know Mr. Schrader is vulnerable to a hit or easy grabbing the ball, they will go for it. This is going to be a blood, and this is
Yeah,
it.
it's going to be a tough game.
This is going to be a tough game, physical,
Really
hard-fought
tough, yeah.
game. And the Denver Broncos are going to go sort of hell-bent for leather to cause turnovers, fumbles, anything they can do to put themselves in a spot to win this ball game. And they're not going to say, oh, Mr. Schrader, we're going to let you run one back. You know what I mean?
No, it's
They're
gonna
going to
be-
try to knock his helmet
Yeah.
sideways and get that ball from him.
Are we talking about the same Denver team?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, well, that's true too. It's tough.
They have to step forward.
Yeah.
The Denver team does.
Now, what do you think about Favre's rotary cuff in his left shoulder?
It's in his other arm.
I don't think
He's
a
played all
problem.
year. He's
Yeah, he's played all year with it.
He's played that all year. He's made the MVP again for the third year in a row. So
I didn't.
apparently Brett Favre can play in pain. Apparently Brett Favre doesn't worry about any kind of little nagging injuries.
Oh, no.
He's tough. He's 240 pounds almost, about 6'2" and a half. 240 pounds. So he's a tough character. He can play with pain. What else can you say about the man? He's the best there is in the National Football League.
Gang, I haven't asked you, but are you going to be there?
No, sir, I can't afford it.
Has any local businesses offered to put the gang in
No.
San Diego?
I'm all by myself.
Somebody
Would you
did.
go?
Would you
Would you
go?
go?
Oh, I definitely would go if I could figure a way.
Somebody could come on money.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a fan.
And you're a fan. You're a fan at Merrill Elementary School. Do you
Oh,
know
thank
that?
you very
You're a
much.
fan around many different places.
I've been doing this a long time, and what I think I bring to the table, you guys, is something wholesome. I might be big, green, and ugly, but my heart's as big as my body.
I think you're
I enjoy children, and I always got to tear my eye for the things that are going wrong in the society. And I try to do good with what I'm doing. I have an opportunity to do good, in the community and stuff. So I try my best to be a good Samaritan or a good citizen first, and whatever happens at football games second.
But gang,
So I think what we need to do here is I think the people out here, the public's got to realize that even though this is not expected on your show, we need to put a campaign together for Green here to go to the game.
gang, would you go?
Green, it won't be
would
the
go.
it won't be the
You would
same.
go.
Green
I would go.
Super Bowl 32
I know.
representing.
I would love to go. I went last year. It was really a fun time, and they know the green. I've been around a long time, John and Steve, so they know me. I mean, they know of the Green Man in every corner of the
Yeah.
football world. So I mean, I go to football games at Lambeau, and I shake hands with everybody, even Denver Bronco fans and Bear fans, and basically everybody. I treat everybody with respect. I don't, swear at them, and I shake their hand and I give them a lot of respect.
So if the small businesses in this community sent gang, you would go.
Oh, I'd go in a heartbeat.
You would have to be our representative.
I would do that.
Do you think in that stadium, it's a very foreign place. I mean, do you think you could do it?
I know I could do it.
You think you could be the difference in winning that game?
I know I could do it. Well, one thing, I go to these football games, I tell you what, I bring the intensity level. The fans know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but you're going to have a lot.
They know I mean business. They know every play means a lot to me. Every single play in a football game means a lot to the Green
But
Man. Every single
how
play.
are you going to get these actors and these rich, famous people who bought these?
I don't know.
You're going to get them to be a Packer fan at the Super Bowl.
You mean
Oh, some Hollywood moguls, huh?
he's a Wagner?
Can you do it?
Oh, sure. I mean, I love the public. I think I have the personality that fits in the public eye. I get along with people. I have a very good rapport with people.
So even though you could be facing hostility,
Oh,
foreign stadium in the heat.
I-
I mean, severe heat.
I went
You're willing to go.
when I did a commercial for Coke last year. I did in Kansas City. That's where I
remember
filmed
that.
it.
Yeah.
I went to Kansas City, and I tell you what, they showed me respect. They called me the green face man from Green Bay. Nobody did anything negative or verbally abused me. or anything in front of my face. I'm not saying they didn't behind my back, but basically in front of my face, and they all enjoyed me. They know who I am.
The Green Machine.
Yeah, they know the green-faced man from Green Bay, and they said, boy, you've been around a long time. We see you all the time. So
Yeah.
I get
Well,
along. I get along with a lot of people in general.
I see you out there shaking hands, and I respect you a lot. And I think the community should be thankful we got somebody to represent it like this. I really
Thank you.
do.
I love it. I love the fans. The fans are the most important thing. The players are second, and the team is third.
So if we can't get you to San Diego, your plans for Sunday?
I would be going out there.
And if you don't get to go
I'm still going to be watching them somewhere.
somewhere, but you'd prefer to be there,
Oh, I'd
trying to encourage
I'd love
the
it.
fans.
Oh, I was down in New Orleans last year, and I had a really good time. My saying last year, we're in it to win it. And this year would be, we're not done with one.
Yeah,
We're not done with one,
yeah,
are we?
that's right.
Are you
You're not
suggesting-
done with one.
Not
You
done
got
with
it.
one.
Are you suggesting
Yeah.
repeat next year?
The three-peat thing, we'll have to, of the 60s, the great Vince Lombardi years. Okay, he was there for 9 years. Most of his players stayed. That's why with the free agency today, John, hopping player to player, team to team, moving around, the dynasties
Right.
are really somewhat a dinosaur.
They stayed
but maybe
because
the
of
Green
him.
Bay Packers are going to reverse that trend and keep everybody here. People maybe take a pay cut for the ring and get the community thing and stuff. Maybe the Packers will change that trend a little bit. And maybe the Green Bay Packers will solidify team unity again and dominate the National Football League for years to come with togetherness and unity inside the locker room and outside the locker room on the field.
Well, I think you made an interesting point there, Green, and that is back in those days too. They didn't really play for the money; they played for the sport.
The ring.
Right now, I think that could be a whole new dynasty that you just made a comment with. That maybe that is coming back. The appreciation of the game is coming back, and maybe they're going to play more for the sport, and people will come here to play. And I think Holmgren has done,
phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Phenomenal
I don't
job.
think you'll replace Lombardi. I mean,
Never.
I remember last year when Green Bay played Pittsburgh in Pinpen or whatever from Pittsburgh dropped that
Yancey
ball.
Dick did about
Nancy,
3
you're
years
right.
ago.
I wrote an article to the Green Bay paper, and made a comment in there that I felt that the spirit of Vince Lombardi was
was in the
there,
corner.
knocked that ball out of his hand. I don't know if the article ever got published, but I tell you that even though we had our cousin play for the Steelers,
Yes.
it was still exciting to see the Packers go because they were climbing, they were on their way, and they did real well.
Okay, now let's get this football game again. Okay. A little bit more. They could run the ball. Pharrell Davis had 1,700 yards on the ground.
Right.
Then Elway can throw the ball. He's got that lot of heroic stuff, last minute, 2-minute drill thing down the touchdown and
If he
stuff.
comes to play.
If he comes to play.
And if
Really?
And their defense,
Right.
they got Atwater, and a couple safeties getting hit. And their linebackers, I don't think they got Romanowski who likes to spit. Well, I mean, but their linebackers aren't as fast or quick to the ball as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and maybe the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? So we should be able to take advantage of their slowness in the linebacker core. They have a smaller defensive line than our offensive line.
Correct.
Their offensive line is smaller than our defensive line.
And they have a very strange uniform, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
strange uniform.
Very strange
They
uniform.
have Shannon Sharp, a very capable tight end. They're just going to try to get him the ball a lot. They're going to try to get Terrell Davis involved in the game and try to run the. Remember, a couple years ago, Coach Holmgren is a pass-orientated coach, okay?
Right.
But he said to himself in his mindset, I'm going to try to run a game. I'm trying to run the ball. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to stay with it. And, that's what they're going to have to try to do. The Denver Broncos are going to have to stay with that running game and try to make it work. But they're not going to have any luck with it.
You know what I'd like to see? One play. The new offensive lineman who replaced Ross Verba.
Oh.
Can they throw a pass to Ross?
Yeah, I mean, eligible thing.
I want to see Ross catch a ball and run. That's what I want Mike Holden to do.
Oh, I don't know.
I want one pass
Yeah.
going to Ross.
Ross
Verba.
would love that. I think to sum this up in a nutshell, is I think we've got the defense that in the 70s the Steelers were known as the Steel Curtain. Well, they've come up with the front five or something like that.
Well, no, that's the offensive line. It's the forgotten five.
The forgotten, yeah, but I think our defense now is what the Steel Curtain used to be in the 70s, and I think we are really strong in our defense.
Oh,
and I
yes.
think the secret of this game is going to be won by defense in Fritz Sherman, who is going to call a good game, mix it up, and so that they throw all their offense off. And if we can throw their offense off, we then can strategically run a better offense and win. Because I just think in overall, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, but it comes to fan support, too. You can't have a bunch of people living up in those hills in Denver coming to San Diego to support a football team. Do they even know how to support a football team?
I don't know. They have, I guess, in Mile High, they're not going to be doing it. You're not going to be doing that Mile High salute.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's gone. You're not doing that Mile High salute. I'll tell
Now,
you that.
if we send Green to the game and we get him to go there, he'll make sure no more Mile High salutes.
Yeah.
How many minutes we got? We got to pick a score here. We got a few minutes left.
We gotta
right?
pick a score.
Okay, we're gonna have a pick a score, John. What do you think the score is gonna be? We did a lot of BS on the night, but we're gonna we can be a little BS and we're jovial because the Packers are going to the Super Bowl without any too many problems. We should come back with a Super Bowl win.
Are you going to the celebration afterwards?
Yes, I will.
You're gonna
Tuesday,
go-
I'm going up there. Yes.
Well, we can't.
What do you think the score's gonna be?
We
John?
can't bet on the score, of course.
No,
but-
I think it's a 12-point spread, but we don't.
Well, I would say Packers 37, Denver 17.
Okay, that's a good spread. 3 touchdowns. We'll probably 3 touchdowns.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 28-17.
28-17. That's not a bad score. I don't know where they're going to score 17 points on their defense, but I'm going to say the Packers are going to beat them 30-13. 30-13. That's 17 points.
And we'll probably all be wrong.
I'll take a 1-point win, won't we, gentlemen? So this game here means a 1-point win means it.
Yeah.
You know, we can't. 1 point. Remember, we lost that Philadelphia game by 1. That was ugly. You know,
Yeah.
This will be very pretty if we win by 1, but we're going to win by more than 1.
Well, they got to go in serious, like they
We're
said.
healthy.
Like they said, Indiana beat them. The Wimps on the block beat them. They took it serious, and that really turned them around. So I think they're going to be focused. I really think I think they know the hype. They've been there already, so you know I think they'll do well. I think they'll win. I really do. We're strong.
A lot of
and-
leadership,
Yep.
talented leadership, experience, great coaching staff on both sides of the ball. Allow fans will be there. They know what's at stake.
Natural field.
And they're healthy, natural field. So everything is really playing into our hands. We have to do a lot of stupid things, John, for us to lose this ball game. And the Green Bay Packers are not going to do a lot of stupid things.
And people
No.
should remember, it's only a game. Enjoy the game, but you know what team's gonna.
Yeah,
If you don't go, where are you going to be watching it?
I don't know yet.
We have a certain place we all can meet.
No, I have no idea where I'm going to go. I might be going to Green Bay at the Expo Center.
Yeah.
Gang, yourself, you have what? One more show left this year.
Next week we're going to talk about the post-Packers Super Bowl win.
What's your plans next year?
I might be going. I'm going to try to get this show statewide.
That would be good.
I'm going to try to get this show statewide. I'm going to have to talk to WP&E and see where the logistics are and the financial, things are, how much it would cost and whatnot, and where I'd have to tape it and stuff and such. So,
And if one of the local companies would show interest, would Gang go
oh,
statewide or
sure.
worldwide?
Oh, sure.
And you would do that for the fans.
Yes, I certainly would. I think I've been around a long time. I used to go to Milwaukee games, so Green Man is pretty well known, not just in Wisconsin, but Green is known pretty much in the football world of the National Football League.
And nobody's really stepped in either and took place. Like they came out after him with that
Yeah.
wacky
I've
packy.
been
That died,
persistent.
Yeah, that died off.
Yeah.
That little wacky
Yeah,
packy.
what happened to Wacky Packy?
I don't know. That's
They retired him.
I've been maybe persistence is.
Yeah.
I guess persistence and staying focused is what keeps me going, and the fans.
Well, your heart's with the Green Bay.
And my heart is
Yeah.
with the Green Bay
Yeah.
Packers and the fans
Yeah.
and winning and stuff. And
Do you know any Green? Do you know offhand if any of the Packers or organization watch the show or know anything?
no,
about
I
it?
don't know.
You
I don't think. I don't. They're too big for me.
Have you ever thought of inviting
I
any
would
of them
think so.
down?
They don't have no time for me.
Well, I wouldn't think that way.
I don't know.
But
You
you're a
never
local
know.
native from Oshkosh.
I'm Oshkosh native.
You've been a Packer fan even through the 80s drought.
Oh, I was since I was born. But anyway, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Green.
Good
Appreciate
luck,
it.
John.
I will need it, and I will.
I guess we got to wrap. So say it with me.
P-A-C-K.